I have a list of 7 to 8 real stories that I've been writing down as I remember, ranging from the story of how I got blackmailed into coming out by my school in grade 8 to 7 years later when I actually told my mom I had a girlfriend and she warned me I would be engulfed in flames after my death. Stock Homo illustrates each story in the style of weird stock photos, using overly expressive models, props, flat lighting, and a white studio background. When I was 13, I was in my coming out era where I wanted the whole world to know I wasn't straight. I told 2 female friends while we were sitting on a bench, and the one closest to me said to the other, "Oh no, move over, what if she likes me?" They laughed it off, and I didn't come out to anyone ever again. So why stock photography though? Stock photos are eye-catching and so much fun. Like Megan Garber from The Atlantic says, to see a stock image is to know you're seeing a stock image. They can turn all the heads in a fine art gallery context and bring attention to a really important personal topic.
You're not always like anti-suicide chairs or whatever?
Yeah?
What wigs do you like? What kind?
Salt and pepper,
Okay.
buffalo.
Okay.
There's Parmesan. My buddy owns a place called Mugshots.
When I was 14, a teacher saw me kissing my girlfriend after school hours. The next day, the prefect called me to his office and told me at my age, I was like clay that needed to be molded. He made me sign a paper that detailed what the teacher had seen and said he was going to send it to my parents. I told him that he couldn't do that because I hadn't told him about my girlfriend yet. A few weeks later, the principal called me to her office and told me that if I didn't tell my parents, they would. But also, this photographic genre really supplements the project. Buying and using stock photos is accessible for everybody, so a single photo can end up illustrating many different situations. Them being so generic makes them relatable in a way, and I hope viewers can find comfort in them. The titles of my images are very visually descriptive, resembling tags and search words for stock photos like girl calling her mom from hell, which will help support their applicability. Due to their need for ambiguity while still needing to be extremely straightforward, they often end up looking awkwardly exaggerated, weird, and theatrical.
I finished taping the other one. Did you just finish high school?
She called me old all the time, so I guess.
Because you are.
When I was 15, I had a friend who was 12. We had met in our catechism group led by my mom. We were the best of friends. I remember finding out that her mom didn't like me and had even told her to stop hanging out with me. She didn't give her a reason, but I just had a feeling I knew why. We never talked about it, and when I switched schools, we grew apart. She came out as bi a couple of years ago.
I've literally seen my mom do that.
I've
Like,
been doing it.
unironically with them. Yeah, like.
That's crazy.
Skip the dishes, grab.
When I was 17, I was at a party with my girlfriend, and I got pulled aside by a guy. He said he loved my energy and asked me for my number. I looked over at her, and I said no to him. He asked me why not, and instead of telling him I had a girlfriend, I just said I don't want to. He insisted, and I gave it to him. I blocked him when he texted me.
Slowly become you just did.
The comedic aspect of this photographic genre brings some much-needed lightheartedness to such negative experiences as a way to process them.
Like obviously it was hurtful, but more I was never like, oh no, there's something wrong with me. I always thought, what is wrong with these people? Like
Yeah.
they I felt bad for them because I was like, you don't get it.
That same year, the prefect called me to her office. She said she had a DVD with security camera footage of me kissing my girlfriend and told me that I was to never go near her again. I asked her if she treated all the straight couples who spent their recess openly making out in each other's arms like this. She said, "I've never seen them." I just looked at her. She was shaking.
Okay, the flash is acting like it needs a break, so I think we're taking our break now.
We break when that camera says we break.
In 2020, I told my mom I had a girlfriend, and she said, well, you're going to hell. Then we never talked about it again. The idea for the project came from the fact that one of the crooks in my stories, a school prefect, actually follows me on Instagram. He'll respond clapping emojis from time to time, and one time he reacted to a story of me and my girlfriend with a thumbs up.
Are you sure?
I don't really hide my relationship on social media, and I think it's pretty obvious that we're dating, so he must have known. And ever since the day he reacted to the photo of my girlfriend and me, I've been trying to decipher his stupid fucking emoji. Is he trying to say sorry? Is he trying to say he's learned and changed and he understands what he did was wrong? Is he happy to see that I have a girlfriend I love? The obvious solution would be to ask him. But I can't find a way to start that conversation. Hey, how are you? Anyway, remember when you told me I was being molded the wrong way and made me sign what was basically an arrest warrant? What was that about? Do you still do that to your students? Are you still teaching? Or are you so ashamed of how you reacted to your first non-straight student that you quit teaching? I'd like to say I can't find the words, but that's exactly what I want to say. I just can't find the way to say it. I'm also afraid of the embarrassment of being ignored. So of course the next obvious step was to make a social media post about it. More specifically, to post an Instagram photo, which I know he'll see, because clearly he closely follows those. Then he can see how wrong he was. The models in the photos are stand-ins for the real characters, including myself. Coincidentally, most of them are members of the LGBTQ+ community, and through shooting the photos, we were able to share our stories with each other. So, although Homo was initially birthed as a therapeutic activity, as the project started to take shape, it felt like a community was being built. The first rendition of Homo was my thesis exhibition at the Little Gallery in the University of Calgary, which featured a playlist of the songs that were popular at the time, a guest book that ended up being full of messages of relatability and support, and an opening reception where we shared a colorful cake that said, "It's a great day to be gay," which turned the project into a celebration of our queerness.